Greetings, brethren, it is I, the Donkey, and welcome back to Donkey vs. Beer, specifically Beer of the Gods. We are nearing the end of this series. I think there are 2 or 3 more that I still haven't done, and we'll get to them in time, but today we have Hymir, the Giant Stout, with 8.5% alcohol, which, to me at least, seems kind of odd for a stout. To me, stouts are usually known for their relatively low alcohol content. I'm thinking, Guinness, which is a lovely, sort of silky beer that doesn't really rely on its alcohol content, but really just tries to give you a pleasant time. So I'm interested to see how this, with almost twice the alcohol content of a Guinness, will fare. I know absolutely nothing about this beer. They usually have a little scale on the back for various tastes and even a recommendation for how cold you should drink this beer. None of that on this one, so we'll see. Also, fair warning, I'm very, very bad at pouring stouts, especially from a bottle. Yeah, stouts are probably the one type of beer that you actually do want to pour from a can, I think. So we shall see where we get with this one. You know what? That's not too bad. I'm actually kind of happy with that. The foam is really dark, which is definitely something I'm not too used to with stouts, especially, or at least from all the Irish stouts that I've had. They pride themselves on their really, really sort of light-colored foam. So we'll see what changes about this one for not having that. Oh yeah, I didn't even smell the bottle. Oh, Not sure what to think about that one. The smell is kind of acrid. I'm not actually going to say what it reminds me of because that's naughty. And yeah, Anyway, we'll just give this a go, shall we? Oh boy. Oh boy, and it tastes like it smells. Oh, that's not nice at all. You know how I said that a Guinness is like a nice hug? It's like you sit down and somebody puts a really nice pint of Guinness in front of you and you just feel the love in the room when you have it. With this one, it's like you're being hugged by a rabid wolverine. It's so unpleasant. It's really acrid and sour in a way, just in a really not pleasant way. And again, I won't say what it reminds me of the taste because that's very not PG-13, but yeah, it's not particularly pleasant in a beer. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of weird. It really smells weird. And it's not particularly nice at all. Yep, no, I don't think I'm going to be drinking much more of that one. It's definitely very rich in flavor. There's a lot of sort of roasty, dark flavors going on with this one. Honestly, it barely reminds me of a stout. I almost think it tastes a lot more like a porter, which is weird because I had the porter last time, the Surtur. Yeah. Again, it's very, very malty, but not in a nice way. Kind of, there's a lot of sort of acrid tones to it. Very, very, tannin heavy, very bitter, and yeah, and kind of there's also sort of an acidity to it. It's really not very nice, and almost like a, to make it not sound filthy, there's almost a fishiness to it, in a really unpleasant way. Yeah. And I do know, that a lot of these sorts of beers in England, they use fish bladder to clarify their beers, and this may of course have been used. It doesn't say so on the bottle, so I don't know if it has, but I don't really associate that generally with making the beer actually taste of fish. So I don't know. Yeah, not too fond of this one at all. And you know what? I think I'm just gonna give this the 1.5 out of 10 that it deserves. It is pretty terrible. Uh, it does. I will say it does still have that sort of silkiness of a stout, the sort of really nice sort of creamy mouth feel, which is okay. So I guess that's where it steals a point. But other than that, it's just not pleasant at all, and I'm definitely not gonna have more of it because, ugh, not for me. And because this video is really short at this point, you know what? I'm just gonna hang a second beer onto this one, and we'll have another double feature because, there just happen to be a few really bad ones that I can't really talk about that much. And yeah, so I'll see you in a bit. So, today we shall be trying Berserker Blut, which is of course Berserker's blood. And it is a mixed drink of beer and cherry wine. Now, I have never actually had cherry wine, so I don't know what to expect from this, but I will say that probably my favorite one from this line so far has been Heimdall's Willkommen, which was the very first one in the series, and the link is going to be up there. And that one was also a mixed drink of beer and mead, so maybe this is good? I don't know. We shall find out together. So, let's have a pour. Okay, so this is very much not foamy at all. It's quite cloudy, which is probably, I would guess that's because of the cherry wine, because I don't think this had sediment. Maybe it did. I don't know. I don't remember. So anyway, not a lot of foam. Ooh. I don't know if I like the smell of that wine, but we'll just have to have a taste. No, I don't like this as much as the other one. Not nearly. It's interesting. This is most likely because I've never had cherry wine by itself, but I can definitely pick out what the cherry wine flavor in this is. And it's interesting, and I think, just as a total aside, which has nothing to do with beer, I think that would actually make a really good base for a cocktail. Because it has a really sort of, it has an interesting bitterness that's not really like, a hoppy bitterness. And also not really like a gin and tonic-y kind of bitterness, more like a really sort of dry bitterness. Similarly to a dry mead. And I think that would make a good base for a really refreshing summery cocktail. But, that's irrelevant. It's just, that also kind of explains what the taste is like. It's very sort of dry bitterness, kind of a sour note that's, to do with the cherries. The beer I cannot make out. I'm not entirely sure what the beer is. Let me actually just have another sip. I think it might actually be sort of a dark roasty ale type thing, which I guess makes sense because you don't really, with the sort of, dryness of the wine, you probably wouldn't want something that also has a lot of hoppiness to it. So sort of a roasty ale or a sort of a dark lager kind of thing is what I would imagine would work pretty well with it. And it does work. It's just not for me. It's just not what I would want in a beer. It's one of the reasons why I don't really like mixed drinks, mixed beer drinks. I find them often a bit too. They change what I like about beers too much, and yeah, this really does that in a way that I just do not really enjoy that much. No, no, I can't be positive about it. It's not for me. It's just But I will say this. I think it is certainly a lot more interesting than a lot of the other entries into this particular line because it's something different. As a beer, it doesn't do much for me because most of what I'm getting is the cherry wine. I personally think the Heimdall's Willkommen was great because it was such a good combination. Both of the elements of it, the beer and the mead, they worked really well off of each other and kind of fed each other, you know. So you had that sort of really nice savoriness and you know, sort of bready beeriness, but then you also had that really nice honey note in there. It just worked really well. With this, I just don't think it works together quite as well, and it's yeah. I guess it does have 7.5% alcohol, so you're definitely going to get absolutely sloshed drinking these. And it certainly, I will say, it doesn't really taste like it has that much alcohol. But I am also not sure how much of this you're going to be able to drink, because while it doesn't really have the same kind of bitterness that an IPA has, it kind of has the same effect, where you're not really, it's not moreish, you know, you're not really tempted to just chug it down. It's more of a sort of relaxed evening kind of, you know, try something new kind of beer. And for that, it's fine. But I definitely wouldn't get it again. And I don't think I can give this more than a 3.5. I think it's fine. It's alright. I might even be persuaded to give it a 4, but that's really all I can give it. We shall now try the very last beer in this particular line of beers, and that is Crafty Loki. Which, of course, means that this is a craft beer, and it's gonna be really hoppy, because a lot of the beers in this line were. It is a Nordic Pale Ale, which, as we have found with the other beers in this line that were called Nordic whatever, doesn't really mean anything. It's just a marketing term they throw in front of it so that, you know, it fits with the sort of Norse theme. And I guess it also allows them to make it just hoppy and say, hey, it's a Nordic whatever, that's why it's hoppy. So yeah. We'll see what this one is like. Oh, okay, this one also has sediment, so I should probably mix that in. Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of happy and glad that we are through with this particular line of beers. I'm a little disappointed in the whole thing. There were some standouts for me. I still think the first one that I tried, Heimdall's Willkommen, was actually the best one. And it's kind of a shame that I tried that one at the very start because it set my expectations up really high. And all the other ones were kind of a letdown because of that. I think if I had Heimdall's Willkommen somewhere down the line, I would have been, first of all, I would have been a lot more appreciative of Heimdall's Willkommen itself. And yeah, I think I wouldn't have, I may have not hated the other ones so much, but oh well, that's where we are. Oh. Well, I shook it too much and we are having an accident. Ooh. Okay, the accident has been fixed. So let's continue the pour. Color is very foamy beer. Holy crap. Why? Oh my god. Okay, I'm not gonna like this one. Ew. Oh, it smells really odd. Huh. It has both the smell of an IPA and of a sort of a really clay-like wheat beer. Does this have wheat? Nope, it does not. So that's odd. But freaking hell, what a crown this beer has. I'm gonna have to be. Oh, wow, it's so foamy. Whatever. I'm probably not gonna drink much more than that anyway. So, unintentionally best crown ever poured. If this were like a Pilsner or something. So let's have a go. Wow. Yeah, that's so not for me. Yeah. You know what? Now actually tasting the beer and not just the foam, it's a lot nicer than I thought. But that is not saying very much. Yeah, it's just it's very I don't know, it's still an IPA to me. I don't know what the difference is supposed to be between this and the Warrior IPA in this line, which was just really, strong. I guess this is not as strong, but I don't know why you wouldn't just call this. I guess you can't call it an Indian Pale Ale because it's supposed to be like a Nordic freaking thing, but this is an IPA, okay? It's very much one. It's not, I don't know, there's nothing about it that really screams, this is a crazy different thing to me. It's just kind of a shame. It's just kind of a shame. And I don't think I have much else to say about this actually, which is sad. Like it's very much an IPA. It's super, super intensely bitter. The bitterness does linger. Not quite as long as I've had with other IPAs, but it does still linger quite a bit. There's not a lot of fruitiness or anything like that going on. It doesn't have a lot of notes beyond just the hoppiness. And yeah. Ooh, the burps are gross. Yeah, so no, not for me. Probably one of the worst IPAs I've featured on the channels from my perspective. Remember, I'm not an IPA drinker, so my opinion is of course very much colored by that fact. But I would give this a 1.5 out of 10. I don't think it's very nice at all. And it might be the worst one in this whole line, which is saying a lot because there were some real stink. Actually, no, it's not worse than Hymir. Hymir was worse. And it's probably going to be in the same video, so you'll have seen it. Good. Yeah, so not very good. Definitely would not get this one again. Ooh. Yeah, what a disappointing line. How sad. I was hoping for a lot more with this, but it's just all branding apparently, which sucks. But I still would absolutely recommend everybody try Heimdall's Willkommen and Yggdrasil, which I will both link up here. And I'm sure this will be the final video, which I will probably assemble out of 3 of these because the last 3 I tried were just not very good. So the videos were really short each, and it'll just be one big long final video in this series, and then we can move on to other things. Alright, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful evening, and if you enjoyed this line, despite the fact that these beers were a little disappointing to me, then please do subscribe to the channel. That would be so fantastic, and I would be forever grateful. Other than that, I hope you come back on another day for another beer. Take care, guys.